There's something unmistakably different about people who grew up in the 1980s. A lot of us look at the world today and honestly feel like we woke up on another planet. Not because we can't adjust or keep up, but because we remember a version of life that younger generations never got to experience. It was a time so unique that, even decades later, people still say things like, the 80s were hands down the best decade to grow up in. Or like one 80s child summed it up perfectly, no seatbelts, no helmets, doors left unlocked. You survived a childhood that would probably get parents reported today. And instead of damaging you, it strengthened you. Your brain took shape during a rare moment in history, and psychologists are only now starting to understand why growing up in the 80s wired you so differently from people raised today. The first trait they point to is something called hardwired confidence, or what I like to think of as a built-to-win mindset. And this one is especially tied to the 80s. Think about the world you absorbed as a kid. The economy was strong. Every song on the radio told you to stand up, fight back, take your shot, and don't stop believing. The entire culture sent one clear message: you can win. That's why today's constant doom scrolling feels so strange to you. Your default setting is optimism. You grew up bold because the world showed you there was something worth being bold for. The second trait connects directly to that booming economy. Researchers call it latchkey autonomy. You probably just remember it as being home alone. Because both parents were working, you came home to an empty house. You made your own snacks. You did your homework, or didn't. You figured out your afternoons without anyone hovering over you. Kids who regularly had that kind of unsupervised time developed stronger internal motivation and sharper decision-making skills. No one planned your schedule. No one tracked your progress. No one told you what came next. You had to build your own inner compass, and you still rely on it today. That's why you can plan, adapt, and execute without needing approval or reassurance. You were learning independence long before you realized that's what it was. The third trait researchers talk about is an effort equals reward mindset, and it shaped how you experience satisfaction. If you wanted to play a video game, you saved quarters for weeks and rode your bike to the arcade. If you wanted to hear your favorite song, you sat by the radio for hours with your finger hovering over the record button. If you wanted to watch a movie, you went to the rental store and hoped it wasn't already gone. Studies on reward anticipation show that people who grew up earning things through effort and waiting developed stronger dopamine regulation and better impulse control. Your brain learned that good things come from work and patience, not instant clicks. That's why quick gratification feels empty to you. Your reward system was built for the chase, not just the payoff. When you wanted something, you were relentless, because you understood the cost. The fourth trait runs even deeper, and it explains why you stay calm in situations that send others into panic. Researchers call it physical world confidence. You grew up in a world where everything was tangible. You owned tapes, records, posters, collections. If something broke, it was gone. If you loaned something out, you might never get it back. You learned what real value and real loss felt like, not just digital files floating somewhere online. But it wasn't only about possessions. You navigated the world without GPS, without Google, and without anyone tracking your location. You figured things out because you had no other option. And that confidence didn't fade. It settled into your bones. The fifth trait might be the most fascinating of all. Psychologists call it presence capacity, the ability to truly be in the moment. The 80s were the last era before everything turned into content. You weren't documenting life. You weren't curating moments for an audience. You were simply there, fully immersed, because there was nowhere else you needed to be. You experienced life without constant digital noise, which meant memories formed deeper and clearer. You weren't dividing your attention between living and recording. You were completely present. That presence stuck with you. It's why you can wait without anxiety. It's why you don't need non-stop stimulation. Your brain was shaped in a world that demanded full attention, and that's still how it works today. So when you look at modern life and feel out of place, remember this: you're not outdated. You're carrying strengths that are quietly disappearing. The self-reliance that gets mistaken for stubbornness, that's competence. You were given freedom, and somehow you never got lost. After growing up in the 1980s,